Hello and a very good afternoon. The biggest breaking at this moment is that the verdict for the gruesome Arjikar rape and murder cases here. And sole accused Sanjay Roy has been given life imprisonment by the Shialda court here in Kolkata. Judge Anirban Das, while delivering his judgment, stated that he does not consider this case to be one of a rarest of rare nature. Therefore, he is giving the convict, that is Sanjay Roy, a life sentence. Now, as it was mentioned earlier as well, Sanjay has been convicted under three sections of the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita. That is Section 66, Section 66, which pertains to causing death or resulting in persistent vegetative state of the victim. Section 64, which is punishment for rape, and Section 103(1), which pertains to murder. Now, the judge has announced his verdict for all three sections. For Section 64, that is, he has said, for Section 64, that is punishment for rape, judge has said that Sanjay Roy has received a life sentence, a life imprisonment sentence, as well as he has to pay a fine of 50,000 rupees. If he does not pay the fine of 50,000 rupees, he will have to serve 5 more months extra. Moving on to the second section, which is Section 103, that is punishment for murder. Again, the judge has stated that Sanjay, for this particular section as well, is going to get life imprisonment along with a fine of 50,000 rupees. Now, he has also added that Sanjay, if he does not pay that 50,000 rupees, he will have to serve 5 months extra. Following Section 66, which is causing death or resulting in absolute vegetative state of the victim, Sanjay Roy has been given life imprisonment. That is imprisonment till the last day of his life. And this is what the judge has said. Now, in the morning today, when the court opened for hearing once again, Sanjay Roy was presented before the judge, and he once again repeated himself and stated that he is not guilty. He is being framed, and once again, the Rudraksh Mala was raked up for his defense. He mentioned in front of the judge that, sir, I am wearing a Rudraksh Mala around my neck, and had I done anything as heinous as this crime, the Rudraksh Mala would have broken and scattered all across the room. And I have been framed and I have not been heard. So the judge then said that, the trial has been going on for so many days, and one entire day was assigned to Sanjay Roy when the judge heard Sanjay Roy. So judge said that I gave you 3 whole hours where I heard each and everything that you had to say. And based on all the evidences that have been presented and all the arguments that have been presented before for so many days, I have convicted you guilty. So Sanjay then again went to say that when he was in Kolkata police custody, he was mistreated, he was tortured, and he was allegedly made to sign on various documents without his knowledge. When he was transferred to the CBI after Calcutta High Court on August 13th transferred the case to CBI, he stated that while he was, taken into CBI custody, there was a situation where a medical test had to be done. Now, Sanjay said that he alleged that the central agency did not take him to the assigned location. Rather, they took a detour, and later a report which was formulated was, he claims, framed. So he stated that he has been mistreated at the hands of the police and then the central agency. But then again, the judge reiterated his stance and he stated that, all the evidences have been reviewed and we are of the opinion that you have been proven guilty, and and accordingly sentencing was done. So Sanjay, again, I repeat myself, Sanjay Roy, the sole accused in Arjikar rape and murder, has been given life imprisonment by the Shialda court here in Kolkata. The trial court on Monday stated that this is not an instance of a rarest of rare case. Therefore, Sanjay is being given life imprisonment and not death penalty. During the opening arguments today in the morning, when the CBI presented its argument before the judge, the CBI counsel repeatedly mentioned that this is a case of rarest of rare crime. This is a case of rarest of rare crime. And they stated that, after this crime was committed, the bestial nature of it shook the conscience of the entire nation. And in order to restore the faith of so many people all across the state, the country, and the world at large, it is important to have an exemplary punishment where the confidence of these people are restored. Again, before concluding, they stated that this is a rarest of rare crime. Similarly, the victims' counsel, that is the lawyers representing the victims' parents, they also stated that the girl, she was a meritorious student. Her life was very brutally cut short on that fateful night of August 9th, and she was basically serving people on duty when her life was snatched. And they mentioned that Sanjay Roy, being a civic volunteer and someone who had access and was entrusted with the duty to ensure the welfare of the patients in Arjikar Medical College and Hospital. He had the access. Therefore, and all the evidence that has been presented, all the evidence states that it is Sanjay who committed this crime. In fact, the charge sheet which was filed by CBI, that too names Sanjay Roy as the sole accused. So they stated that, we want the highest quantum of punishment, and capital punishment is the only suitable form of punishment in this case. That is what they feel. That apart, while delivering the judgment, Justice Anirban Dash, he mentioned that is the state. He said state as in not the state government or anything as such, as in state, as in the Rashtra. The state is liable to pay a compensation to the victim's family. Yes, the state has to pay a compensation to the victim's family because while the 31-year-old PGT doctor was brutally raped and murdered, she was on duty. She had been working for the last 36 hours. Therefore, the parents of the fallen doctor are liable to compensation, and they have to pay a compensation of 7 lakh rupees for rape and 10 lakh rupees for the murder. So this compensation has to be paid. So once the judge said this, the crestfallen father of the doctor, of the 31-year-old PGT doctor whose life was so brutally cut short, he rose up and in folded hands, he stood before the judge. In folded hands, he pleaded before the judge and he said that, sir, I have said earlier, I have mentioned earlier, and I'm saying it once again, I am not here for any compensation. I am not looking for any compensation. I just want justice. I want justice for my daughter. To which Justice Anirban Dash, he stated that this is as per the rules, and therefore they are liable to the amount of compensation. Having said that, the judge also mentioned that I personally feel that this particular crime, this particular situation of rape and murder that has happened cannot be compensated with any sum of money. The absence of a daughter in a family, the absence of a doctor in the fraternity itself cannot be compensated with any money. But this is according to the rules, and therefore I have mentioned that in my judgment. So this is what transpired inside the court today. Just to give a quick refresher, on 9th of August, 31-year-old PGT doctor was brutally raped and murdered in Arjikar Medical College and Hospital. Soon after, the Kolkata police arrested the sole accused, that is Sanjay Roy, on August 10th, after which he was in Kolkata police's custody. Following a Calcutta High Court verdict on August 13th, the case was transferred to the CBI. Following which, Sanjay was again transferred to the CBI, and he was with the CBI when all the interrogation and investigation happened. So the trial has been ongoing in Shialda courts. It was an in-camera trial since November 11th, and the trial was concluded on January 19th, that is on Saturday. And today, the judgment was pronounced. And Sanjay Roy, that is the sole accused of the Arjikar rape and murder case, has been given life imprisonment. But the CBI and the victims' parents, they had been rallying around the demand for a death penalty, and even in the opening arguments, it was stated that Sanjay should get death penalty for the nature of the crime, the bestiality that was unleashed upon the doctor. That is the reason Sanjay should get death penalty. However, Judge Anirban Dash, he said that after having gone through all the testimonies, having reviewed all the witnesses, and having gone through all pieces of evidences, he feels that this isn't a case of rarest of rare crime. Therefore, life imprisonment has been given to Sanjay Roy. Now, Sanjay Roy's counsel, that is Shejyoti Chakraborty, she got up in defense of Sanjay and she stated that Sir Sanjay should be given anything but death penalty. He should be given a chance, a shot at rehabilitation. He should be given a shot at given a second shot, given a second chance. And she raked up issues, she raked up examples from previous cases which were undertaken by the Supreme Court, where the Supreme Court had, commuted a death sentence to life imprisonment. So she mentioned that, and she mentioned a number of such cases, and she also mentioned a particular study which was conducted and stated that this particular study elucidates and highlights what goes on and what happens when a person is essentially given life sentence, and the socio-economic factors and the mental health factors should also be considered while giving life sentence to an accused. She clearly mentioned that, and she said that everyone deserves a second chance, and so does Sanjay. And she stated that she personally, as a person, criticizes the idea of death penalty and rallied around and battled for the demand of rape and murder. No. I'm so sorry. She batted around the demand for life sentence over death penalty. She stated that the victim. She said that, sir, the accused has to be given time for reformation. Even if it is a rarest of rare case, there has to be a scope for reformation. She mentioned that, sir, the court has to state why the convict is not fit for reformation or rehabilitation. Court has to show why the convict is beyond any reform or rehabilitation. Conclusive pieces of evidence must be presented that give reason as to why the person is beyond reform and needs completely to be eliminated from the society. She stated that there has to be conclusive evidence and conclusive arguments and absolutely set on stone evidences that state that why a person should be given a second shot. And she stated, she also referred to a study called Project 39 that kind of goes through the how people who are on death sentence, and the study shows how death penalty happens, the socio-economic factors that were presented, and that should also be considered. And she stated that, sir, I criticize death penalty. It can only be entertained when there is no scope for a second chance and a person has to be absolutely eliminated. Given the instances of lingering doubt, she used the term lingering doubt, stating that, this case has been, certain aspects of this case have been lined up based on circumstantial evidence. Therefore, there is always scope for lingering doubt. And so awarding death penalty to someone, that is absolutely eliminating someone from the society, should not be considered as an option. She concluded her argument by stating that, she wants anything but death penalty to be given to the sole accused Sanjay Roy in this particular case. Now, Judge Anirban Das, after he announced the sentence and told Sanjay that he has been given life imprisonment, he stated that if Sanjay has a problem with this particular sentence, he can challenge it at the higher court. Similarly, the same thing was stated to the victim's parents, where he stated that if the victim's parents do not deem that this is appropriate punishment for the kind or the nature of the crime that has been committed, then they too can challenge this at a higher court. Since August 9th, since the fateful day that this particular crime had happened, all of Kolkata, all of India, and even in some parts of the world, people all took to the streets, all of them demanding accountability, all of them demanding justice for the fallen doctor. There were candlelight marches, there were mashal rallies, there was vehement sloganeering, and doctors, they stayed on the streets and they continued to raise the demand, that is justice for Arjikot, justice for Abhaya. Now, after this particular verdict has come out, many people are questioning that if this particular verdict, that is life imprisonment for Sanjay Roy, is enough a sentence to kind of sit for this, the nature of the crime. The counsel representing the victims' parents stated that all of the society at large, was completely trashed after this crime came to the fore, and the only kind of punishment that should be entertained, at least in a case where such a thing has happened, that is death penalty. But then again, Justice Anirban Das stated that this is not a rarest of rare case. Therefore, death penalty is not being given, but life imprisonment has been given to sole accused Sanjay Roy for the brutal rape and murder of the 31-year-old PGD doctor of Arjikar Medical College and Hospital. Now, everyone was waiting with bated breath. There was great anticipation and a lot of suspense surrounding this particular verdict. Everyone was waiting to see what transpires out of this case that has been, it has been over 165 days. That is almost half a year since the crime was committed. And everyone was waiting with bated breath to see what comes out and what transpires out of the in-camera trial that was ongoing since November 11th. And the trial was concluded on January 18th. The trial was concluded on January 18th. Sanjay Roy was convicted guilty on January 20th. And following that, on January 20th, Sanjay Roy has been given life imprisonment. So many people over here have questioned that if life imprisonment is sentence enough for given the nature of the crime. Like I mentioned, since August 9th, there was a huge furor over this incident. People questioned women's safety in Bengal. People questioned women's safety in general, and people were rallying for nothing but death penalty when it comes to this particular case. But in the turn of events, the Shialda Court of Kolkata on January 20th, that is today on Monday, has given life imprisonment to Sanjay Roy. He has been convicted under 3 sections, which is Section 64 that pertains to rape, Section 66 that pertains to an attack which was made by the accused, which led to the death or absolute vegetative state of the victim, and Section 103(1), which pertains to murder. Now, as per these particular sections, which is Section 64, that is of rape, the court has given Sanjay life imprisonment with a fine of 50,000 rupees. The court has stated that if Sanjay Roy does not want to pay 50,000 rupees, he will have to serve 5 months extra. Under Section 66, that is attacking a person, in such a way that results to death or absolute vegetative state of the victim, Sanjay Roy has been given life imprisonment. That is imprisonment till the last day of his life. And under Section 103(1), that is pertaining to murder, Justice Anirban Das mentioned that Sanjay Roy has been given life imprisonment along with a penalty of rupees 50,000. Again, if Sanjay does not give this money, he will be liable to 5 months of extra imprisonment. So this was what was given out in the court today. The parents of the victim were present, and after the verdict, after the sentencing was done, the judge had mentioned that the parents are liable to a compensation amounting to rupees 17 lakhs. That is 7 lakh rupees and 10 lakh rupees, a total of 17 lakhs compensation the parents are liable to which the parents, they rose in folded arms. They stood in front of the judge in folded arms. The father's voice almost cracked. The emotion in his voice, the emotion in his appeal was absolutely palpable. He stood in front of the judge with folded arms, and he told the judge that, "Sir, I am not looking for any compensation. I have mentioned earlier, and I mentioned today as well, I am not looking for any compensation, but I just want justice for my daughter." To which the judge mentioned that, "Sir, I am not saying that you have to take compensation. It is absolutely your choice. But what I'm saying is this particular sum, according to the law, you are liable to get." Judge has said, I personally believe that given the nature or the bestial nature of the crime, no amount of money can be given to the family to bridge the void, to fill the huge gaping void that has been created by snatching their daughter from them. Nothing can be, no amount is suitable enough or big enough to fill in that void, to compensate for that void. Just to give you a little refresher, the other day when the court convicted Sanjay Roy, the court had stated that since November to January 18, whatever the court has heard, whatever the court has seen, Owing to that, the court has stated that the court has found Sanjay Roy, that is the sole accused, in the Arjikar rape and murder guilty. And the quantum of the punishment was to be pronounced on January 20th, that is Monday, which is today, and the quantum of the punishment has been pronounced. Sanjay Roy has been given life imprisonment. Sanjay Roy, I repeat, has been given life imprisonment. And the court also mentioned on that particular day, the judge Anirban Das especially, when Sanjay stated that he is being falsely implicated and that it is not his fault, and he's being framed and charges are being brought up against him, and the fact that the actual accused, or the actual people who have committed this crime as alleged by Sanjay Roy, are going to go scot-free because of the way the things have been put out. To which the judge had said that, I have gone through all the evidences, and the judge has said that even he himself personally has found Sanjay Roy to be guilty, and punishment would accordingly be served. So, and then an entire day passed. There was a lot of anticipation and suspense. Almost all evening debates of news channels were, centering on what happens to Sanjay. What fate is Sanjay meted with after having committed such a heinous crime? Once we reached the Shialda court today, there was huge suspense, and there was much anticipation surrounding the whole verdict and surrounding the sentencing of Sanjay Roy. There was massive police deployment outside the court itself. There were guardrails after guardrails, and there was police present over here to ensure that nothing untoward happens. The junior doctors have also come in front of the court, and they too were demanding justice for the fallen doctor. Many people, many common people who had taken to the streets, to those protest marches of reclaiming the night, or any protest rally for that matter that is demanding justice for the fallen doctor, they had taken to the streets. Many of them had come down in front of the Shialda court, all of them waiting to see what is the outcome of this Arjikar rape and murder case, all of them waiting to see what happens to Sanjay Roy. Well, the suspense has now ended, and Sanjay Roy, that is the sole accused in Arjikar rape and murder case, has been given life imprisonment by Justice Anirban Das of Shialda Court. While we were coming out of the court, there are many people who are standing outside, and many of us asked us that, what is the verdict, what did the judge say, and what can be what are the subsequent steps. So they were informed that life imprisonment has been given to Sanjay. Many of them were disheartened, as many people were expecting that death penalty would be given to Sanjay Roy for the nature of the crime, that is the beast-style nature of the crime that was committed on August 9th. Sanjay Roy has been convicted of raping the doctor. Now, as per the postmortem reports, the doctor died due to asphyxia, that is strangulation and smothering. And, it is heartbreaking to even think that the doctor was sleeping. She was asleep when suddenly she was attacked upon. She did not get a chance. She really did not get a second chance, to put it that way. She did not get a second chance to defend herself. She did not get a second chance to stand up for herself. She did not get a second chance to push Sanjay Roy away, for that matter. So she has died. Her family has lost a daughter, and everyone, literally everyone, was up in slogans. Everyone was up with sloganeering and posters, taking to the streets, and they had one demand, that is justice for the Arjikar victim, justice for the Arjikar victim. And that had almost become like a rallying cry in Kolkata for the past so many months, because everyone was looking for justice for Sanjay Roy. Just to take you over the timeline of events that led to the sentencing of Sanjay Roy today, on August 9th, as mentioned before, on August 9th night, the crime was committed. The crime was committed, and Sanjay Roy raped and murdered the 31-year-old PGD doctor of Arjikar Medical College and Hospital. On August 10th, the Kolkata police, after having gone through CCTV footages and a crucial piece of evidence, that is a Bluetooth neck headphone that was found from the spot of the crime, that was around Sanjay's neck when he entered the seminar room, as was seen in the CCTV footage, that was missing. And that was found, and it was missing from Sanjay. Therefore, The pieces of the puzzle, they fell together. It was pieced together, and Sanjay Roy was promptly arrested by the Calcutta police on August 10th itself. On August 13th, the Calcutta High Court transferred the case of investigation to the CBI. There was a lot of uproar and a lot of furor where the junior doctors and certain sections of the society too questioned the Kolkata police's role in handling of the case. They stated that the Kolkata police has not done enough and possibly could be, kind of involved with evidence tampering. Therefore, there was a case that was there in the Calcutta High Court, and the Calcutta High Court on August 13th transferred the case to the CBI. On August 14th, a 25-member CBI team was formed to investigate this case. On August 15th, post midnight. So on August 14th, what happened is on the night of August 14th, there was a massive Reclaim the Night movement in Kolkata itself. People, irrespective of their age, irrespective of any social affiliations, irrespective of any social hierarchies, irrespective of any physical impediments, they had taken to the streets on the intervening night of August 14th and August 15th. And during the wee hours of August 15th, a huge mob rushed inside RG Medical College and Hospital and vandalized the hospital premises, especially the ground floor of the emergency building. Following which, there were many claims that the crime scene, which is on the third floor, that is the seminar room, was perhaps kind of vandalized in case, and therefore evidences were tampered with. However, that was not the case, as it was later informed and later investigated by us as well. We had gone up and seen that the seminar room, which happens to be the scene of crime, happened to be intact. Therefore, the scene of crime was not tampered with. On August 18th, the Supreme Court took suo motu cognizance of the matter and scheduled the first hearing for this case on August 20th. On August 20th, the Supreme Court held its first hearing and formed a 10-member national task force to create a national roadmap for the safety and security of the doctors. Like I mentioned, on August 9th, while Abhaya was brutally raped and murdered, she had already given 36 hours of duty serving the patients of RG Medical College and Hospital. Following her death and the nature of the crime, many people had raised issues with the kind of safety and security of the doctors at that place of work. So the safety and the security of the doctors definitely became a point of contention and a point of debate and discussion. Therefore, the junior doctors, along with the demand for justice of the fallen doctor, had raised several demands pertaining to their safety and security, which essentially included, creation of restrooms, creation of washrooms, installation of more CCTV cameras, and proper places for the doctors to rest after such long and hectic work schedules. So on August 10, the Supreme Court held its first hearing, and a 10-member task force was created to form a national roadmap for the safety and the security of the doctors. On August 24, 2024, Sanjay Roy and 6 others had undergone a lie detection test. So along with Sanjay Roy, there were other doctors who had undergone lie detection tests because on the night that Abhaya was brutally raped and murdered, according to reports and according to the charge sheets, she, along with a few of her colleagues, they were watching the Olympic finale of Neeraj Chopra's javelin throw, following which they ordered food from an app. After the food was delivered, all of them together sat down and had dinner together. After which the other doctors, they went out for their duties, while Abhaya, she was resting inside the seminar room on top of a wooden dais, on top of a mattress which was placed on top of the wooden dais. So those doctors, along with Chandra, they underwent lie detection tests on August 4th. Following which, there was a demand for a narco test, for which consent was sought from Sanjay. But Sanjay never gave consent to the narco test to begin with. On September 3rd, 2024, former RG principal Shondip Ghosh was arrested by the CBI in an alleged corruption case, and then later he was once again arrested on a later date, along with Tala Police Station OC officer in charge, that is Abhijit Mondal, in connection with a case pertaining to allegations of evidence tampering in connection with this rape and murder case. On September 15, 2024, CBI arrested the Tala Police Station OC Abhijit Mandal in connection with the rape and murder case. On October 7th, 2024, the CBI filed its first charge sheet in connection with this case. And in this particular charge sheet, the CBI stated that Sanjay Roy is the sole accused in this particular case. The CBI stated that they went through the inquest report, the post-mortem report. A multi-institutional medical board was also formed to see into the proceedings of the inquest as well as the post-mortem, and which for the matter was tape video recorded. So this multi-institutional medical board, they went through the footages of both the inquest and the post-mortem, and they stated that it is consistent with the recordings and it is consistent with the findings. Therefore, the findings of the records stand. So the CBI had stated that whatever evidence that has been found links Sanjay directly to the scene of crime, beginning with his Bluetooth earpiece, then his mobile tower connection, and the fact that he was there at the premises of the hospital when the crime was committed. There was CCTV footage, a grab of which went viral on social media, which showed Sanjay Roy, after having committed the crime, he was leaving the seminar room and exiting that particular corridor and leaving the building to begin with. At a glance, Sanjay had looked up to the CCTV camera, and that's when his picture was caught on camera. And that was one of the pieces of evidence that was found and kind of circulated, which also kind of implicated Sanjay in this case as well. So that apart, nipples, that apart, was swabs from the victim's body, and particles of hair that were all collected from the victim's body belong to Sanjay. Clothes that were seized from Sanjay's quarter, which had blood on it, the DNA of that particular blood matched with the victim. So Sanjay Roy was named as the sole accused in this particular case. The CBI had also mentioned the names of Shondeep Ghosh, that is the former principal of RG Medical College and Hospital, as well as the officer in charge of Tala Police Station, that is Abhijit Roy, in this particular charge sheet. However, the Abhijit Roy and Shondeep Ghosh got a bail in connection with this case pertaining to alleged evidence tampering in the rape and murder issue, because the CBI failed to submit a conclusive charge sheet given in the stipulated time period. Now, on November 4th, 2024, charges were framed against Sanjay Roy at the Sialda Court, which is the trial court in Kolkata, which was hearing Sanjay's case. On November 11th, the trial began at the Sialda Court. On January 9th, 2025, the trial concluded and the judgment was set to be delivered on January 18th. On January 18th, 2025, Sanjay Roy was pronounced guilty by Judge Anirban Dash. Anirban Dash had mentioned that having gone through all the evidences, having gone through all the witnesses, and having gone through all the arguments that were presented before him during the course of the trial, he had pronounced Sanjay to be guilty of committing the rape and murder of the 31-year-old on-duty PGT doctor of RG Medical College and Hospital. On January 20th, Sanjay Roy was sentenced to life imprisonment by Anirban Dash. Now, as mentioned, Sanjay has been convicted under 3 sections, that is Section 64, 66, and Section 103 of the BNS. As per Section 64, Sanjay Roy has been given life imprisonment along with a fine of 50,000 rupees. If he does not pay that 50,000 rupees, then he will have to serve 5 additional months of imprisonment. For Section 66, Sanjay Roy has been given life imprisonment, that is imprisonment till the last day of his life, imprisonment till the day he lives. And for Section 103(1), that is pertaining to murder, Sanjay Roy again has been given life imprisonment along with a fine of 50,000 rupees, and he has again been said that if Sanjay does not pay the sum of 50,000 rupees, then he would have to serve additional 5 months of imprisonment. So that is what transpired inside the court today. As the court convened for sentencing of Sanjay Roy today, the situation was quite tense. There were a lot of people, along with media people, along with the lawyers of other cases, who had all gathered inside room number 210 of the Sialda court, where the hearing was taking place. to see what the ultimate fate is, to see what exactly transpires out of this hearing that was ongoing since November 11th. So everyone had gathered, and Sanjay Roy was brought to court today. Sanjay Roy was brought to court today at around 10:45 a.m. in the morning. So, and there was great anticipation. The parents of the victim, they had come here to see what the final sentence is against a person who snatched away their daughter so brutally. The parents had entered the courtroom, the judge had come in, and then Sanjay was presented before the court. And after Sanjay was presented, he stated that he has been framed, he has been falsely implicated, and that he isn't guilty. And however, Anirban Das, he heard Sanjay and stated that after having gone through all the evidences and after having gone through all the witnesses over the course of the trial, he has pronounced Sanjay guilty. And CBI had batted and said that, this is one of the rarest of rare cases of crime and had asked for death penalty. But during the sentencing, when the court recommenced at 2:45, around 2:45, Anirban Das, that is the judge, stated that this isn't a case of rarest of rare crime, and he handed over life imprisonment to Sanjay Roy over death penalty. Sanjay Roy was convicted under 3 sections of the BNS, that is Section 64, Section 66, and Section 103(1). Sanjay Roy was convicted under these 3 sections. And in such a way that leads to death or a vegetative state of the women, Sanjay Roy has been given life imprisonment. That is imprisonment till the last day of his life. And Section 66 that pertains to murder, Sanjay Roy has been given life imprisonment along with a penalty of 50,000 rupees in this particular case. Life imprisonment. As I mentioned, the sole accused in Arjika rape and murder, Sanjay Roy, he has been given life imprisonment by the Shialda court. For more details, I'm going to toss it over to my colleague Tamal, who was inside the court as the proceedings took place.
Well, that's right. On 22nd of December 2024, we had done a story. The title was, "What if this happens to RG Court?" Well, that story was pertaining to a 5-year-old boy who was sodomized and killed in Gujarat. And then that man was given death sentence by the lower court. And then that case had eventually reached to the Supreme Court. And then Supreme Court, in the month of December 2024, had categorized the same category, that this case does not come under the category of rarest of rare category. Now, what is Supreme Court relying on? Supreme Court is essentially relying on the legal jurisprudence which is existing in the country. What has the judge at the Shialda trial court relied upon? Again, the same legal jurisprudence existing in the book of law. And that is the reason when there is a chorus growing louder for a change in the law, a reforms in the law, it is not something you can discount just like that. And it can only happen through parliament, right? That's what Supreme Court had said. That's what all legal luminaries have said. So at this juncture, relying on the existing law, this is what Shialda court has decided, that 31-year-old medical student who was raped at her workplace, who was brutalized and killed, an incident which has shocked the entire country, an incident which had evoked emotion to a point that everyone all across the country had erupted in one voice demanding justice. This case does not come under the category of rarest of rare category. Well, I'm not criticizing the judge. I'm not criticizing the court. I am, in a way, very much within the right to criticize a verdict if we do not agree with it. It is not the fault of the judge. The judge said, I'm sorry, PP sir, but this does not come under the rarest of rare category. We have to wait for a detailed report, detailed judgment copy to understand why has the judge decided so. Is it because there is a law book that defines which all cases have to be defined as rarest of rare, or because of something else, because of investigation still going on? It's something we have to wait and see. But one thing that has come out from this hearing, Sanjay Roy is guilty of rape and murder. Sanjay has been sent to life imprisonment under section 64 and 66 along with other penalties, and also sent to imprisonment for life, which means till the time he is alive, he will be there behind bars. That is because of the sexual assault that led to the death of the victim. Imagine what happened to our Nirbhaya law. Nirbhaya law, a new law which came up after the brutal rape and murder of 2012. We have to now recalibrate possibly as what's going on and where things are going wrong, because there is a larger sentiment where people certainly disagree with the identification of cases as rarest of rare or non-identification of cases as rarest of rare. To give you a sense of what I saw and probably what you will never get to see or will never get reported anywhere, as soon as the verdict was announced and the judge left, by the way, the judge also announced compensation for the victim's family. The moment that compensation money was announced, the victim's family stood up. The father basically, he stood up and he said, I don't want any compensation. My daughter is not going to come back. I don't want any compensation. To which the judge very categorically said that you have made it very, very clear that you don't want compensation. But the fact of the matter is, this is rule. Your daughter was on duty when she died. There is a compensation law in cases of sexual assault, and abiding to that, we are directing a compensation amount of 10 lakh plus 7 lakh equivalent to 17 lakh to be paid to the victim family by Rashtra, by the state, by the equivalent of the mother breakdown. It was the father who broke down. Today, it was the mother who broke down. She was crying inconsolably. She was crying inconsolably. There was another woman, I think a family member. She was literally patting her like this. And and the victim's family initially refused to take the compensation money, and thereafter I saw the mother break down. I also saw few police officers. There were two lady police officers. I mean, they were livid. One of the lady officers said that I have a daughter at home. What is rarest of rare? I mean, a police officer asking. What is rarest of rare? And it would be a bothersome question for one and all today. What is rarest of rare? So we are waiting for a detailed judgment, but the verdict which has come out, even though Sanjay Roy is guilty, even though Sanjay Roy is guilty of rape and murder, but then the court has found this does not qualify for the category rarest of rare, and that's the reason death penalty has not been given. It's life imprisonment. Yes, of course, there is now larger scope for either Sanjay or victim's family, or for that matter CBI, to approach the higher court. As I stood there, I felt there was a sense of silence. And I saw that silence around Sanjay. I saw that silence around family. And in couple of seconds, I saw Sanjay, turn his face down. And and even if it was not a smirk, I saw Sanjay, take his face down like this. And even if it was not a smirk, but there was slight bend here on this side, as if he was trying to hold on a smile. Well, we have to understand CBI, victim's family, uh, everyone wanted death penalty, capital punishment. It was only the defense lawyer representing Sanjay had said, if all options of reformation is over, then capital punishment can be given. If scope for reformation is still there, then capital punishment should not be given. Any alternative punishment apart from death penalty is acceptable. Imagine while Sanjay was actually pleading innocence, the lawyer representing Sanjay, and that was a lady, a woman, she, while representing Sanjay, one who had cried innocence, denied all charges, said, don't give death penalty, give any other alternative punishment. And said, there are Supreme Court orders, Supreme Court judgments that basically decide what is rarest of rare. What is rarest of rare? So, citing certain Supreme Court verdicts where either death sentences have been commuted to life, or citing Supreme Court observations on rarest of rare, the defense lawyer representing Sanjay Roy argued as whether he and his action demands death penalty, as whether that is rarest of rare or not. So again, I say it is not a commentary on the judge. It is not a commentary on the court. It is certainly a commentary on our legal system, on the law of the land, and if that needs any kind of changes. Well, if the existing law had remained the way it was conceptualized all throughout, I would have understood. The law has changed, right? In fact, IPC itself has now changed to BNS. And even with a new law, which was touted to be more stringent in cases of sexual assault and crimes against women, this is not a rarest of rare case. So if law can change over time, it can only happen on the basis of feedback. And if the feedback is not in tantamount with the existence, which means it could be critical, which could be in contradiction. So if that is allowed, criticizing this verdict is also allowed. Well, I don't think the family would be issuing any statement today, because the family arrangements are now being made so that the family can be taken out from a different gate altogether, just to avoid any media, queries, because they are absolutely distraught. They're absolutely distraught. I mean, fair enough, life imprisonment, that it's also a punishment. But to call this not a rarest of rare case is certain to hurt many sentiments, many emotions. And for the judge, the law book is the Bible. For the judge, the jurisprudence would be relying on the law book, which is the Bible. So we can't even say anything against the judge. We won't. But if the law allows this case not to be identified as rarest of rare, then maybe somewhere deep down we are going wrong and the law needs a change. So basically, at this point, At this point, Sanjay will now be sent to jail, and we have to now wait and see whether CBI moves against this verdict to any higher court, whether the family, victim's family, would be moving to high court, or anyone else would be moving to high court challenging this order. But at this juncture, the court has made it very, very clear it is not death penalty and it is life imprisonment. Imagine in the past 1 year, less than a year, there had been five death penalties given by several trial courts. This was the sixth case where conviction has happened and the quantum of punishment was announced. This is also the sixth case in row, but first after five death penalties were given in cases concerning rape and murder by other trial courts, matters investigated by West Bengal Police. This one, not a death penalty. It is not a rarest of a rare crime. It is we will wait for the final order and the order which is published. For now, giving you all the details. Titash has also given you a roundup of what really happened inside the courtroom, the communication that happened, what started at 12:40 post noon. After a break, the court resumed at 2:45 once again, and thereafter Sanjay was brought, and then the verdict is being announced. It is life imprisonment for Sanjay, imprisonment till his last day of life, and not a death sentence, not a death penalty. Well, we will wait for the final order to see the reasons for the court to decide as why this was not a rarest of rare case and why this is fit for life imprisonment and not death penalty. For now, I thank you all for connecting with us. We will try and consolidate everything and come back to live again in the evening. But for now, we want to wind up. Um, over here, there are multiple emotions working, and I'm really not sure as how to interpret that, because in the morning where people were casually asking, will this be a capital punishment, will this be death sentence or life imprisonment, not betting on each other, but then many people were giving their own opinion and what they think can happen or might happen. But now that the verdict is out, not really sure if people would find a sense of closure with this. For now, on behalf of my team, Titash Mukherjee, Orku Shaha, and Ronnie Shatra, I thank you all for connecting with us in this live broadcast.